Hello dear students, welcome to Pen and Paper Chemistry. The topic that we are going to take up in this lesson is alkynes, and specifically we are talking about the properties of alkynes. And as you can see clearly, oh, not clear at all. Yes, I understand. As you can see over here, a basic idea about the flow chart that you will need to draw. So please get a pen and paper handy, and so that we have a nice flow chart ready for you at the end of this lesson. Don't worry, I'm going to expand this. Now if you see over here in this chart, what we've got is we've got basically four sets of reactions. So first of all, we've got the addition reactions, which we are going to cover. Then we are going to talk about the oxidation reactions, followed by polymerization, and in the end we shall be talking about reactions which are specific to terminal alkynes. Yes, now let us now focus first on addition reactions. Now before I go on to addition reactions, I want to make sure, and I want to see your heads nodding, that you have revised alkenes. Have you or have you not? If you haven't and you're saying a no, then earnest request, please revise alkenes first, because alkynes are nothing but an extension of alkenes, because alkynes are compounds which have triple bond in them, wherein between the two carbon atoms you have one sigma and two pi bonds. So basically the same set of reactions but will be taking place twice, two times. So you add the same reagent X, Y, apply the same rules CX, CY, and then what happens is again add another molecule of X and Y, and you have CX2 and CY2. As simple as that. So if you know the reactions of alkenes, you will be able to, oh my god, I see some of you are already writing those reactions. That's super giving a very happy feeling that yes, you know it. Great going. Now while using this flow chart, most of the reactions will be written by you, and if you notice on the left hand side I've got the alkynes written. The first set of reactions is addition reactions. Three possibilities in the addition reactions. You add hydrogen in the presence of platinum, palladium or nickel. You know the temperature conditions, please mention those. So you, in the first step, you get an alkene, and if you continue since you got hydrogen gas, the process does not stop at alkene and goes on till alkane, right? So the product of alkyne addition of hydrogen is an alkane. If you carry out the same reaction, addition of hydrogen in the presence of Lindlar's catalyst, then you will get a cis alkene. The reaction stops at alkene. On the other hand, if you want a trans alkene, all this we have already discussed in our video on alkenes. We have done preparation of alkenes using this method. If you are not familiar, I would request you to see that video. So addition reaction, sodium plus liquid ammonia, and you get a trans alkene over here. So what do you have to do? Now in your notebooks or the paper that you've got, please write the reactions for all the equations for all the three reactions. So you are adding hydrogen in the presence of platinum, palladium or nickel. Of course, do you remember when we use the temperature, high temperature, and when we use room temperature? Very good. Then second is Lindlar's catalyst. Do you know what is Lindlar's catalyst? If you don't, I have discussed everything in the video. Palladium is poisoned, barium sulfate, yes, I'm not giving the full. I want you to write, and I want you to remember it. So what happens over here is we get CH2 double bond CH2 as our final product, whereas for the first reaction it will be CH2 double bond CH2, and then add another hydrogen to it and you get here CH3 single bond CH3, right? The second reaction stops here. And what is this called as? Lindlar's catalyst. You could also be asked, what is Lindlar's catalyst? Why do we poison this catalyst? Interesting, right? You poison the catalyst also. Why would you be doing that? And then what was the third one? Sodium and liquid ammonia again. But cis and trans are not different when we are talking about ethene. It is the same, so no difference in the product over here, right? Let's go on to the next reaction. Next is we've got halogenation. So again, write down the reaction of acetylene with maybe bromine. Would you like to write it down? Addition of halogens, also called as halogenation. Simple, I'll write the fundamental reaction, CHX double bond CHX, right? Here we go, the pi bond breaks. Next step, another pi bond will break, so XX, and so we get here tetrahalide, CHX2 single bond CHX2, right? Now what do you have to do? Don't just sit there watching this video. There is nothing to be learned just by watching this video. Please write. If you want to get perfect command over organic chemistry, please write the equations yourself in order to understand. So write down the reaction of acetylene with chlorine and with bromine. The reaction will proceed in 2 steps. Write the product. Yes, the reddish brown color of bromine will get discharged. That means it will get colorless. And what does this reaction help you to determine? It helps you to determine the presence of double or triple bond in a compound. And double or triple bond means the compound is unsaturated. So this particular reaction is a test for unsaturation of an organic compound. Yes, please, this C is here. Go ahead. Have you written the reaction? Very good. Let's proceed further. Now I've moved the flow chart a little up so that you can see more clearly. We've already done with halogenation, and we've written over here bromine and carbon tetrachloride test for unsaturation. This is reddish brown color. If you want, you can note down in your this flow chart that you are drawing. You can write it in that as well. You know, it will help you to remember. Next reaction that we are talking about is hydrohalogenation. As I explained earlier, hydrohalogenation, addition of a hydrogen halide. And what rule is followed? Yes, MP is the Markovnikov product over here. And what is Markovnikov rule? Yes, the positive part goes to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. In this flowchart, I have written the reactions considering our initial alkyne as RC triple bond CH. Okay. You can take depending on your syllabus, you can just take it as CH triple bond CH. That is what we are doing while writing the reactions, or you can write a generalized reactions. You will have to see the curriculum that is being but that you are following. So let's start writing the hydrohalogenation reaction, CH triple bond CH. Now if you notice, both the carbon atoms are the same. So our first product is CH2 double bond CHX, right? Now after this, when you add HX, what rule are we going to follow? Yes, we are going to follow the Markovnikov rule. Positive part goes to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms, so the negative part goes to the carbon bearing lesser number of hydrogen atoms. So CH3 single bond CHX2. And where will this rule not be followed? Absolutely, when you are using HBr in the presence of peroxide, then this rule is not followed and you get the anti-Markovnikov product. Very good. Thumbs up to those who've been able to answer. For those who are not able to relate to this, I repeat, There is another video on the reactions of alkenes. Please do those reactions first and then proceed with this. It will be very, very useful for you. What do you have to do now? Yes, please write down at least 2 more reactions. Taking HCl and CH triple bond CH plus HBr. So you form the first product over here. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead, tell me the products. So we have CH2 double bond CHCl and another molecule of HCl added to it. So CH3 single bond CHCl2. Here CH2 double bond CHBr. Now, if you are doing the reaction only with HBr, and if you are carrying out the reaction with HBr in the presence of peroxide, tell me what will be the products formed in each case. Go ahead, write the reaction. Don't just wait for the answer. There's no point in copying whatever I'm writing. No point at all. Unless you understand and unless you do it yourself. Very good. So what will happen is, if you're just adding HBr, positive part goes to the part carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. So CH3CHBr2 is our product, a dibromo derivative. On the other hand, if you're carrying out this reaction in the presence of a peroxide, positive part will instead go against the Markovnikov rule. So what we will have over here is, we'll get CH2Br, CH2Br, right? What is the name given to each of these type of bromides? These two, the two bromine, are in the vicinity of each other, right? So this is a vis dihalide. On the other hand, this one is, yes, and this will be called as, yes, they are called as gem dihalides, right? So you see the difference a small peroxide can make to the products of the reaction. That's why again I say organic chemistry is very, very specific, right? And so you have the products here depending upon whether you are carrying out the reaction of addition in the absence or in the presence of peroxide. Good to go? Now another set of addition reactions that we are going to talk about here is the addition of water, that is addition of HOH, which will again take place according to the Markovnikov rule or anti-Markovnikov rule, depending upon what you are going to take as the reagent. If you are carrying out the hydration in the presence of mercuric sulfate and dilute H2SO4, this is very much similar to the oxymercuration demercuration reaction that we have done under alkenes. Yes, so we've got mercuric sulfate, dilute H2SO4 and 333 Kelvin as the temperature. This is called acid catalyzed hydration in the presence of an acid. Don't worry, I will move the flow chart for you to copy. The other reaction is if you are doing the hydration by the process of hydroboration oxidation. The first reaction gives you, yes, there we go, we have the addition of HOH according to Markovnikov rule, and the second reaction will involve the addition of HOH according to the opposite of anti-Markovnikov rule. There's something new that you will notice over here that I have written, and that is keto-enol tautomerism. Don't worry, relax, I'm coming to it. So I'm taking the mercuric sulfate hydration, right, in the presence of an acid, 333 Kelvin. So what happens over here? try adding HOH to it in the same way, positive to one carbon and negative to the other carbon. So this gives us CH2 double bond CHOH. In other words, this is an alkene with an alcohol group attached to it, right? So in short, enol. Now this enol is not very stable and it has a tendency to take away this hydrogen and convert itself into CH3CHO. Right? Now here this is called tautomerism, shift of the hydrogen within the molecule. Both of these have the same number of carbon atoms, hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms, but structurally they are different by the movement of one hydrogen, right? So this is called tautomerism. Now you will ask that I specifically use the word ketoenol tautomerism. Here, if you expand this CH3 C double bond O, this is a carbonyl group, right? Let me slightly change this molecule and let's write the reaction for a let's say we have RC triple CH. Right? Add HOH to it. Same reaction. Positive part goes to the carbon bearing, more number of hydrogen atoms, RCOH double bond CH2. So enol, right? The same way. Again, shift of the hydrogen, and what do we get over here is RC double bond OCH3. What compound is this? Keto, right? That is why this was called ketoenol tautomerism. So obviously this one is a more stable product compared to the enol. Why? Find out the reason. Right? There should be some food for thought for you as well, right? Okay. Now, many of the Indian curriculums, we usually don't do the hydroboration oxidation, but I will cover it slightly over here just in case you want to add it to your knowledge, because as I said, all the reactions are similar to the reactions of alkenes. So this involves simply the addition of HOH, but yes, anti-Markovnikov. Oh, teacher, we are bored listening to the same thing again and again. So that way it will remain embedded. So we take the dialkyl borane in tetrahydrofuran and followed by treatment with or hydrolysis. So we have H2O2, oxidation in the presence of an alkaline medium. So what will happen now, since this is anti-Markovnikov, right? Positive part will go to the carbon bearing lesser number of hydrogen atoms. So here my positive part will go here. So we have RCH double bond CHOH, right? RCH double bond CHOH. So again, tautomerization will happen over here, and what we will get here is RCH2 single bond CHO. So in other words, this particular reaction has given us an aldehyde as the product. So if you look at this chart, I think there was a small error that I had made. Please correct it. I am sorry for this. So RCH double bond CHOH, addition of another or instead of just showing this, you can write tautomerism over here, and this gives us an aldehyde as the major product. So you notice that we started with the same alkyne in both the cases, right? But what happens is addition of H2O in the presence of an acid catalyzed hydration is giving us a ketone, whereas hydroboration oxidation addition of HOH gives us an aldehyde as the major product. Do we go on now to the other sets of reactions? Yes, we now have to deal with what? Oxidation reactions. Tired? So let's take a break and see you in the next video where we'll be talking about the other reactions. Stay tuned to Pen and Paper Chemistry.